Buddy, we're back.
We're back.
We're back again. It's Dave and
It's
Joe
the
Liberty
crazy
Stand.
show.
It's the crazy show. Like Ozzy says, it's the crazy train.
Oh, is that what he says?
No, that's a song, baby.
Thanks.
But
You're the bomb. You're the bomb.
I'm going to charge you for this one of these days for this extra smoke. But
So
no, we're going back to the story with the lady that that Joe was talking to because there's a point to this.
there's always a point.
Well, there's a
right?
specific point. There's many actually, but there is one in
we
particular
got
we want to get
sidetracked.
to, and we did. So
No, it was good.
Take it away, Joe.
So as I was sharing where the Lord had brought me to, I said, that my wife had been taking our children, our girls, to church. And then I said, at that point when God opened my eyes and revealed himself to me, and like I was talking earlier about, we have a relationship, or, being a follower of Jesus is having a relationship with Jesus. If you look at the disciples, when Jesus walked the earth, they knew him, they saw him, they touched him, they were with him. And the whole reason Jesus was, he called them those men, and there were women too, by the way. I mean, Mary and Martha, and there were other women who actually were there as well, that, heard Christ. But anyway, so as Jesus called me to himself and called me to follow him, as he does all of us, I believe Jesus calls us to himself. I mean, I'm not smart enough to figure out who God is and who Jesus is on my own. I mean, I didn't do that. I mean, I'm not God. I'm not. I don't know all things.
And if you look at other previous episodes, he's not smart enough to remember what I just said before he asked the question of something I just answered.
So what I'm
But
getting,
that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, that's another show. So what I'm getting at is what I said to this friend, this lady I was talking to. I said that God calls me to be the spiritual head of my home, and boy, did that hit a hot button. Does that? I mean, what? Why does that hit a hot button with people?
People are sitting around waiting to be upset, waiting to be pissed off, just waiting for it.
It's about, the man is going to lord it over the woman. The woman is lesser than the man.
You know what? It's the
feminism.
It's the wording. And you know what?
But that's not what I meant.
I know
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
I
I
know
love
that.
my wife.
I know
mean,
that.
I'm not perfect.
I know that. Most normal people would know that. Some people don't.
Well, but
want to know that.
and you know what? As Dave and I were talking about this, one thing I told Dave, and I said,
And trust me, I've met his wife.
I'm not
Trust me, if she wants something that he's against, guess who wins?
she's the boss. That's
Yeah.
right. Well, and she's my better half. I mean, no, but she is. She compliments me. I mean, it's amazing how, our marriage isn't perfect, but it works, and we
Well,
work
if it was, it'd
through
be
it.
boring, right?
Oh gosh, believe me, she's not bored, and I can frustrate her very easily. Actually, I did it the other day.
I understand her frustration. But yeah.
So ultimately, though, I think submission is something that we struggle with today, and all people we show that in the context, or we say that in the context of husband and wife, or and man and woman, but I think ultimately our problem is we do not submit to God, to God's authority, to God's who He is.
You know what?
And that's where it comes down to.
I want to be a little
think.
narcissistic here. I want you, the whole world, to I want to ask, okay, judge me on that.
What? Oh, submitting to God?
Yes.
Are you submitting to God?
Yes.
Well, I think we all struggle with that in different levels, in different ways.
Do you think I'm struggling?
With what? Submitting to God?
In
Well,
what?
submitting to God. That's what you asked.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, some people would say, because I like to, it's Saturday. I'm having drinks. I like to drink. I don't know if y'all noticed that before or not. But I
Usually we tape on Sunday because he's, no, I'm kidding. Well, because of my schedule, but I know you usually want to be a Saturday guy. No, so anyway,
No, I'm just saying. I mean, what do you? I'm asking. I mean, I really am. I'm not trying to put you on the
well,
spot.
I'll say as I care about you as a friend, as a fellow human being. I mean, it's funny because there's some struggles that people have, or some
Again, I'm not struggling.
vices that people have.
I have vices, but it's
See,
not a struggle.
terminology is huge.
It really is. No, and it means trust
It
me.
is.
I've been in trouble.
Understanding.
I've been in trouble in my life, and I've met a lot of people because of being in trouble. I had to be around other people, and it was funny because everybody I was with, they were like, "Well, you're not. Why are you even here? You're not an alcoholic, or you're not a drug addict." Which I wasn't there for drugs. It was, DUI stuff, and then when I go out and I talk to, like, normal people, whatever that is, they're like, "Dude, you you need to get some help." And I'm like, I don't fit in anywhere. Nobody will have me. I don't fit in on either camp. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but no, I was just wondering what you thought.
Well, I wrote down this term that I said, and I said something about struggling, and you said you don't struggle. What do you mean by you don't struggle? What did I mean? What do you feel?
Well, when I think of struggle, I think of somebody trying to not do something,
Okay.
but they can't. I saw struggling, and that's with these other people that I was with.
Well, okay, so
so
let me see. What's another way to say that then? Well, I guess,
let's put it this way.
do I lean on this more than I should? Do I lean on alcohol, drugs?
Oh, I like it, and I don't do drugs. I don't do drugs.
Yeah.
But,
is
I
it
like
an idol? There you go. Is it an idol? Because submission is whatever you worship. What do you worship? I mean, I don't mean that for you. I mean in general for everyone.
Well, I'll just say for me, God. I don't. Everything else is a tool.
Okay. So you worship
me,
God. Does that come in? Does that interfere with your worship of God? Your submission, your service to God?
Well, I don't know about submission because I think that's against.
Okay.
I think the level I do it is probably against what you're supposed to do.
I'll tell you. Okay, let me tell you. There's a verse in the scripture that says, "Do not get drunk on wine." And why, or beer, whatever, anything, alcohol. Why do you think that command? And I think it explains even further. Why do you think that is?
I have no idea.
Well, I believe from my recollection of scripture, it talks about because when we do get inebriated or even drugs, whatever, alcohol, whatever, we become more. Our decision making becomes. It's just like driving. You shouldn't get behind a wheel and drive after.
Yeah, I know.
Because
do you remember my keys to my car? Yeah, it looks like a flat piece of paper with
you don't have to confess
city bus
here.
on it. Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is the reason God says do not do that because He knows that we will do stupid things and we will hurt ourselves and other people because our inhibition or our ability to say no. Let's just say it that way. Our ability to say no or not do a behavior. It's just like I don't want my wife drinking.
Do you realize
too much?
Because when I go, let's say I go out, I go out to eat, and they serve alcohol, and I always have drinks before I go out too, and there's a really good wait person there,
Waitress,
even waiter if it's a nice guy, he's fun as long as they're a fun but waitress, more often than not. Guess what? They're going to get a hell of a lot better tip.
If you've had a little bit of drink.
Because I appreciate them more.
Because you've been... Okay, so ultimately...
Do you know how much I'm helping the economy?
Let's go back to what you wanted to talk about, which was submission as me as the authority. God has called me to be the spiritual head. And that doesn't mean... What that means to me... And and help me because I want to make sure people take it in context. What that means to me is I'm to protect my wife. I'm to love my wife. I'm to love
You're
her.
the head of the household.
Well, yeah, but people look at that as when I said that it was taken as a negative, though, and
But it's not.
Why would that be taken as such negative, though?
Joe,
why is that a bad thing? Why would someone feel that? Besides maybe her own wounding in her life.
You are 40-something years old,
that.
and you work for a newspaper. And I know you're not in the actual newspaper business; you're a sales guy, but still, we live in a place and a time right now that's. The moon's jumping over the cow. Everything's upside down and backwards.
Right. But I mean, why is that?
Because everybody's waiting to be offended. Because everybody.
That's our next show is tolerance.
Yeah.
So everybody's waiting to be offended.
Everybody's waiting to be offended.
We want to. Well, because I know. Wait, is it because
in our
we
last
take things
previous
too
shows,
personal?
I got all crazy going. I want people to be. If I'm not being offensive. Green? I'm not doing my job.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I love that because you know what? You know what makes people come out and do something, think about stuff, do something, is when they're riled up and they're turned up.
We got to be careful with our emotions, but yeah, I hear you, because our emotions can get us out of control.
I want to rock people out of their chair. I want to rock people out of their chairs.
But like we've said before,
I don't care if you hate me or not.
Let's talk about it. Let's
explore things that we're talking about. Yeah. Hey, maybe you'll find stuff that you go, see, this is why those guys are wrong. Tell us on Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Well, and that's
or call Joe at home at
555.
Right.
1212.
BR549.
Yeah. Right. What's the WK? No, never mind. No. So anyway, let's wrap this one up. So wrap it up for us.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up, but I think we're gonna continue on this thing because it's my fault. I kind of got us off track on there. So we're gonna jump back on it on the next episode.
Next flip side. All right.
So go to the next one. We'll be right back.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. God bless you.